Hi, Donna here, transformation consultant and spiritual life and business coach, helping you live into the full potential of your life from the inside out. Today I want to talk a little bit about the difference between ego power and authentic empowerment. And power is a conversation that I think has been studied by men for as long as humans have been walking around on this planet. And, I'm going to just speak from my own experience that I think we have the illusion of feeling powerful or gaining power in our ego or our learned self when we're trying to derive that power from something or someone outside of ourselves. And, it creates like a hierarchical type stance where we are above someone or someone else is below us. I think it really speaks to inequality as an overall theme. And again, I think ego power is derived when we're trying to gain something from something or someone outside of ourselves. And for all the reasons that we know, it's not really a supportive strategy. It's not really a sustainable strategy because it sets up inequality. And there's a lot of inequality in our world in a lot of different ways. So one of my own personal explorations has been around authentic empowerment. And authentic empowerment to me is a shift from really deriving that sense of empowerment, not from things or people or situations outside of ourselves, but rather from cultivating that sense of empowerment from inside of ourselves. And so I'll give you an example. When we're cultivating ego power, oftentimes we're positioning ourselves to get something from somebody else, whether we're trying to receive praise or accolades or acknowledgement or recognition. We do that from compromising ourselves in a way where we're trying to be something for somebody else. And so it sets up this dynamic where can oftentimes enter into self-betrayal because we're trying to modify our true self in order to be seen the way somebody else sees us, or force ourselves into a situation that maybe we wouldn't normally be in, but we're buying into the misunderstanding that there is something to be gained for us as a result of this sort of inner compromise. So that's really, again, about ego power and how we sort of set ourselves up for it. When we begin to look at authentic empowerment, this is a process by which we begin to build a sense of empowerment as a result of trusting what's inside of us. And what I mean by that is believing in our truth, believing in, what does your gut say? What is your inner knowing? How is your inner knowing informing you about a particular situation? What feels in alignment, physically inside of your body? Once we begin the process, and I do want to emphasize that this is a process of, I'm going to call it going on our own hunches, really following your own inner guidance, which can sometimes feel really scary because our inner guidance oftentimes is not logical. It doesn't necessarily line up to what everybody else wants. It could give you a feeling of being separated from the tribe or the community or, let's say the family, because you are dancing to the beat of your own drum, let's say. But what I have found in my experience is the more I do that, the more confidence I have, truthfully. And my real life example of this is when I met my husband 11 years ago. I met him on the internet, and we communicated online for about 30 days before we ever even met in person. And by the time we did meet in person, we were completely in love with each other based on the exchange that we had had over those 30 days of emailing. Well, my husband proposed to me 3 weeks after we met, and I said yes. I had been completely in alignment and so sure that this was for my highest good. Well, as you might imagine, everybody else in my life was completely freaking out. My boss was running background checks on this guy. My mother was having a heart attack. But here it is 11 years later, and I followed my own inner guidance on that. And this is an example of how we cultivate inner empowerment or authentic empowerment, is because the reliance becomes about what's inside of ourselves. The reliance is based on our own truth and inner knowing, and not on something that's outside of us. So this is the big difference between ego power and authentic empowerment. So if you would like to learn more about the process that one goes through to be able to cultivate a level of confidence, really, is what this ultimately brings one. If you are interested in learning more about how to do that, I offer a masterclass called Empower the Authentic You. So you can check that out at empowertheauthenticyou.com, or just visit my website and you can find information about it there. All right, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.